Let's talk about this Section 24 notice. What do you think about, A, the fact you've been given this notice, but B, what it means and what it says about the council's finances?
Well, the first thing I'm just to outline is the audit report that we received this morning is based on the previous administration's financial stewardship of the council, not on the current administration. And a Section 24 notice is a serious issue. It's effectively a public interest report on the council's finances. It is fair to say that the issue is caused by a lack of funding from central government, but in terms of getting us out of it, it's going to be very, very difficult because the numbers are just huge beyond belief. So if you're asking me for an answer now, how we're going to get out of it, I don't know, but we will get out of it.
Grant Thornton seemed to be saying that Worcestershire is an outlier, and when you compare it to other counties, similar counties across the country, it stands alone in having such a problem. Why do you think that is?
It's an area that continually overspends year after year after year. It may just be we're just unlucky with demand. The numbers are just mind-boggling.
Looking at the deficit now, it could go up almost by twice the amount in the current financial year. How concerned are you about that? And what are you doing? What are you trying to do to save money?
Well, I'm very concerned. I'm a finance director by trade, and as soon as we were elected and I was elected a member of the cabinet, I read through the financial statements and I was straight on the phone to the Section 151 officer to say, we're not a going concern here. We're basically running out of cash. We don't have enough assets to cover our liabilities. And he said, yeah, I know. We're going through a process at the moment for setting the budget for 26-27, looking at some revenue savings. Obviously we are, but they're not going to be anywhere near enough to reduce that deficit. And one of the councillors in the chamber this morning suggested it equated to a 25% council tax increase, which he was just making a point to point the numbers out. That's obviously not going to obviously can't happen. But that's the magnitude of the gap we're facing.
We saw a heated debate in there, didn't we, about this idea of having a new school in Worcester, and you were voted down on that, your group was. What do you make of that? I can understand, and as I've just said to you, I don't think there's anyone on the Reform Party that wouldn't like to build a not shiny new school. We would. We fundamentally do not have the cash to do it. We are running out of cash, but we're not doing this just to be ruthless and to hell with the future for the kids. We're doing it for sound financial reasons. We do not have the cash. To me, the whole project now appears to be in limbo. What happens next?
Well, those capital items now stay in the capital programme. That doesn't mean to say we actually have to go ahead with them, but they will then come back to council again, not as a separate report like that, but as part of the budget deliberations for 26-27. Obviously, you heard me mention a couple of times this morning, there's an all-members seminar on the 9th of December, where all members will be invited in to say, OK, we do need to work together, we're aware of that anyway. Tell us your ideas. And I think they'll be surprised that they can't come up with the ideas, because we've tried to think about them all.
If it gets voted down in February, do you even have a functioning administration?
There are technical legal ways through. Legally, we have to set a balanced budget, and that's not just we Reform, that's every single councillor in that chamber. So if they keep voting it down, and hopefully it doesn't come to that, if they worked with us before that, then as I understand, there is a legal process for a budget to be almost imposed on the council. I don't know the exact technicalities of that, but that's the way I understand it. It can't be just left in limbo with no budget agreed. There has to be some mechanism for it.
It feels like a mess.
It's absolutely a mess. It really is, and we've come in at the very worst time. We've run out of cash. The reserves are run down to nothing. We've got overspends everywhere because, well, it could be demand, it could be insufficient budget setting in the first place. We've got requirements for new schools in the city of Worcester, although the county-wide we've got sufficient places, but then the argument of having to sit on a bus for an hour each day, and yeah, we hear that argument, but fundamentally the finances of Worcestershire County Council are a mess.